Hi everyone, it's Sally-Ann again, and I feel really guided to share my experience of manifesting. There's so much out there about manifesting, and I just wanted to put my experience across because I feel, sometimes it runs a little deeper than the law of attraction and all these books that are out there. It just runs a little deeper for me. Through practicing A Course in Miracles, that's the way it's come for me. The book The Secret by Rhonda Byrne, in my awakening, that was the first book that was given to me. And for those of you who don't know about my awakening, you can find the story on www.sallyangelic.co.uk, and it's SALLYANGELIC, Sally Angelic. The story is on there. So hours before Jesus came to me in form, I received a message which was apparently from Jesus to get myself a copy of the book The Secret by Rhonda Byrne. And because this message was given to me, I was eager to get a copy because I wanted to know what the message was. And at the time the message was given to me, I had no clue about spirit, about self-help, about manifesting, about creating, about the law of attraction. I had no knowledge. I hadn't come across anybody or anything that would suggest that. So I was just wondering, why have I been asked to get this book, and what does it mean, and what is the message in it? And so I scoured the town for this book and I couldn't find it, which in hindsight I see now that I was never meant to find it, because divine timing had already been set, and I had to wait a few more hours before the actual timing was right. So, not knowing this at the time, I went home and I went online and I ordered a copy of The Secret by Rhonda Byrne, and I was quite disappointed that I had to wait 5 days for the delivery of the book, and there was a clear message there that it wouldn't be delivered for 5 days. So I was a little bit of, oh no, disappointment. Anyway, hours after I ordered it, that very night, 10 p.m, Jesus came to me in form, and it's all on the website that I've just given you. And then I spent the night at home, in Jesus, in God, in heaven, wherever, whatever you want to call it, and I didn't return till 9 a.m. And at 9 a.m. I went down the stairs and I had this another experience of the resurrection, and then straight after the resurrection experience I heard this noise, bang, and it was something coming through my letterbox. Only hours after I made the order, there was the book by Rhonda Byrne, The Secret. And I was ecstatic, and I thought, wow, divine timing, it's here. And I was like, whoa, Jesus knew all along. It was perfectly timed, and I was never meant to find this book in town. But now, after the experience I've just had, I'm ready to see what's in it. So I sat with the sun shining on my face and I read this book from cover to cover, I don't know, in about an hour. And what happened was, all of a sudden, this light switch flicked on in my mind, boom, and it was like, I've been lied to. I've been lied to my entire life about who I am, and about what my worth is. And And I just was like, and then all of a sudden it was like, I've created everything in my life by my beliefs and my thoughts, and this is all down to me. I'm responsible for everything. And I was like an headless chicken. I was so excited. I was running around the house screaming, I'm free, I'm free. And Jesus was saying, I see you get it. I see you getting it. And he was ecstatic because I got it. And for the first time in my life, I was not a victim of the world I see. I was not a victim any longer. And this is what that book did for me. It wasn't about sitting there in the corner, with a vision board or imagining or feeling. It was none of that. It was just purely to get me out of victim mode, and it did it in a flash. And I thought, all my life I had this huge black cloud following me around, delivering punishment to me. And now I knew that I could change it, because I wasn't a victim anymore. And it was a phenomenal time. And what I think is that when our mind opens up to divine truth, then the Spirit rewards us for opening our minds and sort of to prove that this truth is so concrete. It rewards us by miracles along the way. And so whenever we open our minds to truth, we experience a vast period of manifesting to reinforce the truth that we've just opened our mind to develop a deep level of trust and faith in God. And so, I went through this amazing period of manifesting. And so, whatever I said I wanted, I got. I only used to have a thought and I got it. And one day I said, I want a solid oak dining chair, an old-fashioned one. It's got to be solid oak, and it's got to have a red leather seat pad, I said. So this day I gets in the car and I was giving a lift to someone into the city. And when you go into the city, there's this fork road, and the fork that goes to the left, in the entire time I've lived here, which is 14 years, I've never been up that fork to the left. And so I dropped this guy off, and I was just about to turn around and go home, and I heard, no, go up the left fork, go up there. And I thought, I've never been up there, and I just automatically followed, and I went. And I gets through these traffic lights up this fork and turns left. And I said, what am I looking at? What am I looking at? And I could see this sign, and it said the Red Cross. And I said, you want me to go in there? I said, but this is a high street, there's nowhere to park. Turn left. So I turned left, and there was an Asda supermarket with a great big car park on it. So I started laughing, and I parked up the car, and I walked back across the road to this Red Cross shop, and I walked in, and the first thing I saw, I was just gobsmacked. There was this solid oak dining chair with a red leather seat pad. Now the assistant in the shop saw me looking and came across, and she said to me, isn't it beautiful? It's solid oak, And I started laughing. She said, it's only £2. So I paid for it and I left, and this continued to happen. I'd gone into town the next day, and I wanted to read Conversations of God, and I wanted the book number 1, and I just had this image flash through my mind that I wanted that book. Seconds later I walked into a charity shop, and I went straight to a shelf. I mean, there's hundreds of shelves in there, but I went straight to a shelf, and my eye connected straight to the book that I just visualized, Conversations with God. Yet it was more than the miracle that I needed, because next to that book was Conversations with God number 2, and next to that book was Conversations with God number 3, and I got all 3 of them for about £1, which is like $1. And so the miracle was extending out. I was getting, because it was known that I'd wanted book 2 and 3. Even though I'd only asked for book 1, I got the full deal. And wherever I went, this kept happening. And one of my spiritual friends began to call me the Master Manifester. And if you want to know about manifesting, ask her. But I wasn't particularly doing anything. I was just thinking things, and it was just there, and it was just phenomenal. The experience was phenomenal. But when I got into studying A Course in Miracles, I realized that I had to drop this idea that I was manifesting, because it was a gift to me. It was a stepping stone into a higher truth. And it was about me being able to see that and to let go of it now. Because what I realized was, it was given to me to show me the power of the mind, and a sort of a gift from Spirit for opening my mind back to them. But now I'd come into a much deeper understanding, and it was, the Course calls it the authority problem, and it's where I take back control from God, and I turn away and I feel separate from God, and now I go about being my own God and being my own creator, and using the power of the mind that was given me to call the rules and all the shots on my own without God. And really, I was just sticking the middle finger up at God and saying, see how good I'm doing without you. See how much I don't need you. I'm doing fine, thank you. And it was really just an insult. And the Course says, that I don't know what my best interests are. I could never know what my best interests are. So then, how can I be the dictator of what's good in my life? So I began to think, I can sit here and think, my ego self can sit here and think, what do I want? And it's always with the ego, it's always bigger. It's always got to be better. It's always got to be more of. It's always got to be embellished. It's always got to be, like that with the ego. And much of the time, what we think we need, we don't need at all. And then I got into reading all these different manifesting books, and it was like, and some of them say that you have to have this vision board, and you build this vision board, and some of them say that you have to go through a releasing ritual where you go into a meditation and you take 10 cleansing breaths and you chant and you and you get into vibration, and then you release your wishes, and then you feel them and you sense them, and there's a whole charade of what you have to do. And some of them do ceremonies around burning your wishes in the fire, and it's just a constant of having to grasp at and to try and get something that I think I need. When I got into the Course and I saw this authority problem, I wanted to relinquish control and give it back over to God, because I recognize that I am God dependent, completely God dependent, and that my will is one with His. So in relinquishing control and everything back to Him, I knew everything would be perfect. I knew everything would be perfect, because God knows, my higher self knows what it is that I need right now. And I don't